Victory Realty Group again. With the spring is also a great time to take a look up on the roof. So here's the next little maintenance video showing you what you should be looking at up there. So I'm quite comfortable being up on a roof. I've literally been on thousands of roofs over my career. But if you're not, then don't do this. Either hire someone, or another thing that you can do is take out some binoculars and have a look at all of these aspects of the roof from the ground. It's a lot safer. The only dangerous part of that is if your neighbor catches you looking in their backyard and his wife happens to be sunbathing. So just be careful on that part. So the first thing I look at is just a general field of the shingles. I'm looking to see if with any of the high windstorms we've had over the winter, whether any of the shingles have broken off or anything like that. Just jumping back real quick, if you see this type of thing from the edge of your roof when you're up at the top of the ladder, don't even go on the roof. This is just an extreme wear condition. Just get down and call a roofer right away. This is a roof that was just let go for way too long. So this kind of thing is obviously not desirable. I added this picture because I thought it was pretty cool, showing new shingles on the left and some different examples of things to look for. And it's a Reader's Digest picture, so I thought it was worthwhile. And here's an extreme version of some damage. This really sucks. You don't want to see anything like this when you're up on your roof, but if you do, call a roofer immediately. Here's a tamer version of some shingle tab damage. Still not good. You can see some ceiling damage underneath just because of a little thing like this or this. Same type of thing. The shingle tabs have blown off and bent backwards. Those are examples of damage, but the other thing we want to watch for is just wear. As the roof gets older, you'll start to see the granular surface of the asphalt shingles wear off, like here. And on this next roof on the left side specifically, you can see where the tar paper is actually exposed. You don't want to see that. You see that, you should call a roofer in. Here's an extreme version where you can see plywood. If you can see plywood, that's obviously not a good thing. So calling a roofer in at that point is definitely recommended, and hopefully we prevent some damage to the ceilings and your interiors and so on. And just a reminder to just keep in mind that you are up on the roof, so you got to be extra careful. I've been on thousands, like I said, but sometimes I might lose my balance a little bit, just like right here, and that's not good. So just remember, stay calm, be careful. And maybe if you're not comfortable up there, either number one, don't go, or number two, wear a harness of some sort. The next thing I tend to look at are the roof vents. So different things that can happen with these, even hail damage. A lot of them are just plastic, so hail can puncture right through the caps on these. Basically, you want to feel to see if any of the caps are coming loose. Raccoons and squirrels love nesting in attics, so they basically will rip those suckers right off, which is what happened to that one. That's why it's so much newer than the others. It looked like this after one night where a raccoon spent some time working his way into my attic, but I caught him going in, so we had a bit of a stare down, and he decided to leave. Here's another example of a roof vent being torn off. So that's some pretty significant damage that you need to watch for. If you see any of that kind of stuff, you definitely want to call a roofer in right away. Another thing I check is the chimney. So basically, while I'm looking at the chimney, I'm looking for any type of brick deterioration. If you have that, you got to call a mason in so that they can come in and make some repairs on that side. But from a roofing standpoint, what I'm looking at is the flashing specifically. So that's where that metal meets the roof. Here we can see an example of a flashing that is coming loose. If you get a wind-driven rain, it can definitely create some leakage and do some ceiling damage. So you see any of that, again, call a roofer. I also focus on the tops of the chimneys while I'm up there. If you see cracked tops or the clay tile liner like this would be from a wood burning appliance. When they've deteriorated to this degree, that's obviously not a good thing. So you need a bricklayer or mason to come in and take care of that for you. While you're at it, you want to look down the flue if you can. So look down that clay tile and see if anything is looking back up at you. This is one of our properties that had a family of raccoons nesting down there, and that's obviously not a good thing. It wasn't a functional fireplace, so that part wasn't a problem. But you do need to come up with a creative way to get them out there. It can be quite costly if you're bringing in a critter removal company. We found actually a pretty creative way to get them out, and it didn't cost us anything, didn't harm the animals, didn't do any damage to the chimney. So it's actually pretty funny. If you want to know the whole story, you can contact me anytime. So squirrels and raccoons around the house are a problem. Here's an example of a house I inspected years ago where a mother squirrel actually trying to get back into the attic where its nest was and where its babies were, uh, basically tore this roof apart. It looked like a shark bit the edge of this roof. So obviously, any damage like that is something that you gotta watch out for. This is obviously emergency repair that they did just to keep the squirrel from getting back in once they removed the nest. But some roof repairs are necessary there because you could see some damage for sure inside. You could see some water damage, rotting, mold growth, all that kind of stuff. So you definitely have to be careful. Okay, and just the last thing I'd want to focus on, just from a roofing standpoint, is the plumbing flashing. You see the gap in there around that white pipe. Any of that kind of cracking, plus the flashing is lifting off the roof a little bit. That in itself could also cause some damage. But before we finish up here, I did want to mention while you're up there, this might not be a roofing issue, but take a look at any metal chimneys that are poking up through the roof. See how rusty that one is, and this one's even worse. Stuff like that can cause you some grief. So calling a heating contractor in to take care of that for you is definitely worthwhile. So that's basically everything I wanted to touch on right now. Hope this video helps. I've been talking about putting these maintenance videos together for quite some time, and with all of us at home isolating right now, I figured why not? Um, as always, if you guys have any questions, anything to do with your house or with real estate in general, you can contact Shane or I, and just know that we're here to help. Thank you very much.